That's the first thing I'll tell you about. These antelope on the right that are sandy colored. The first one's directly on the right, the rest are further forward. Those are the largest antelope in Africa, the Patterson's eland. When they're fully grown, they're about 6 feet tall at their shoulders, and they can weigh 2,000 pounds. They're about as heavy as a giraffe. The ones that are visible right now, it's an adult female, another adult female, and then 2 little guys that are a few months old. So they're not very big. We'll try to find the adult male somewhere out here in a little bit. But I want to show you guys the most successful hunter in Africa. They're coming up on the left here. They're usually a little bit hard to find. Let's see. Alright, so just look directly on the left here. There's one that's kind of perked up right by the thorny bush. There's a few more toward the back there. They're just laying down flat. Oh, there he goes. Those are African wild dogs. What makes them so successful is that they're pack animals that work together. When they're hunting, they pick one target animal. They'll chase it. They'll even alternate which dog is closest to it as they're running so that the prey animal gets tired first. They look very similar to domestic dogs, but they're not even closely related. They don't even bark or howl. They make a chirping sound. They sound like squeaky toys. There's a few more back there. Now we're surrounded by Ankole cattle up ahead. That's going to be on the right, one here on the left. The Ankole cattle is a symbol of wealth in Africa. They don't eat them, they don't make them do farm work, they're not dairy cows, they're just kind of kept to show off. Some tribes use them as currency, and they're very commonly given in exchange for somebody's hand in marriage. But here on the left, we do get to see that male eland that I told you about. He's massive, but he's not fully grown. When he's fully grown, he'll weigh, again, 2,000 pounds. He's got about 500 pounds to go. Now, coming up here on the right, this Ankole cattle doesn't have spots, so it would be more valuable than the ones that do have spots. And they all have those massive horns. Those can be 4 feet long. They have a 20-inch circumference when they're fully grown. And inside their horns, it's like a honeycomb. They have lots of blood vessels that run through there. That's also where you find their sinus cavities. So whenever they have a cold, you'll find them hanging out with their heads tilted back in hopes of draining their nostrils. The animals, of course, have the right of way here. Now let's go ahead and try to catch up with those giraffes, the bad guys. This lady's going to be crossing in front of us too. Nice and slow. Nice glacial pace.
He's coming. He's like, I'm going to try to again. Don't make them out though.
Yeah, there's another one.
Alright, we're good now. Through the bushes they go.
Oh, they're going in the bushes.
Alright, so with these other Ankole cattle, you find some springbok. The springbok are the national animals of South Africa, and they're the 3rd fastest land animal. Their top running speed is 55 miles an hour. They can also jump up to 14 feet in the air repeatedly as they're running or from a standstill. Then you find the wildebeest out here. The wildebeest perform what's called the Great Migration every year. It's the largest land animal migration. There's about 2 million of them. See all these giraffes out here. So the 3 that are on ground level with us, those were just born last fall. So they are baby giraffes. They're still pretty tall. They're born at 6 feet tall, so they can nurse. As adults, their height depends on what kind of giraffe they are. These are all Maasai giraffes. They're going to be 16 to 18 feet tall. The reticulated giraffes are the tallest. They're 18 to 20 feet tall. And they spend pretty much their whole day eating. So their tongues aren't pink. They're that grayish purple color. Helps them to not get a tongue sunburn. There's a few more here on the left.
Where is he? There's a giraffe right here. I don't even say where. between the trees. Where? Right here in the front of you. I have no clue. Right there. Oh my gosh.
A few things that Giraffes and humans have in common: pigmentation, so they're all different colors and so are we. And the amount of vertebrae bones in our necks is the same, 2-7, but theirs are about a foot long each, so pretty big difference
Oh
there.
my God, there's one right here.
We just saw the tallest animal. Let's go find the largest land animal. From elephant country. So here we are. Let's check around the corner then. There he goes. Over on the right hand side.
Oh, yeah, right there. Where? Right next to the wood. See? Oh my gosh.
So the males usually live by themselves as adults, or they live in a bachelor group, because when they become adults, they get very rambunctious. The females will chase them away. Let's see if we can find some females over at the heart of elephant country. We are going to have to cross Tembo Bridge. Tembo Bridge is not the sturdiest, but we're going to cross it anyway. Sounds like a great idea.
No, not a
Let's
great.
cross nice and slow. As long as those back tires make it, we're good. Oh, there we go, perfect. All right. Well, we did make it, so here we are. We're back on solid ground. So there's tusk marks, there's footprints all around here. The elephants should be pretty close. Let's check over here past the trees. I see one way back by the rocks. Let's catch up with them around the corner.
That would have been much scarier.
Now, on average, 96 elephants are approached every day. Scientists are working very hard to help them survive, and they're mostly focused on their vocal patterns right now because elephants are so smart. They're animals that retain information, they don't operate based on instinct. So by knowing what they're saying, scientists can tailor conservation efforts specifically toward them.
I just saw that.
Alright, so we're gonna get great views here around the corner, guys. Get those cameras ready. See elephants of all different sizes back there.
Look at all that.
There's a baby elephant. If you look by the one that's walking, oh, she just stopped. She's behind that little rock. There she goes. See her really quick. She's now behind another rock. So you see they all look really dirty. They can get sunburned too, so they protect themselves by taking whatever's around and throwing it all over themselves. They also flap their ears a lot. You see all the blood vessels on the edges of the ears. From behind the ear, those are super sensitive. They'll cool down about 15 degrees by flapping their ears. But here at the watering hole, I'll show you the matriarch. She is in charge of all the other elephants. She's the boss. There she is. And you get a great view of her.
That's the big boss.
So she weighs around 9,000 pounds. She's not fully grown. Fully grown for the females is 10,000 to 12,000 pounds. For the males, 14,000 to 16,000 pounds. And she knows the hay is dry, so she puts it in the water to soak it up a little bit. Awesome. All right. We'll take a quick loop around Flamingo Island here. Find the greater flamingo on our left. Greater means that they're the biggest, it doesn't mean they're the best. Because they're so big, they don't turn very pink. They're this powdery color. Turning pink will take any flamingo about a year from the time they hatch. And it happens because of what they eat. They eat brine shrimp and shellfish. Those foods give them beta carotene. But when their feathers fell off, the feather could have been the pinkest one they had. Because that feather is getting no beta carotene, it turns white. All right, but we're good to cross over here. We're going into big cat country here, guys.
Big cat country.
Now, in big cat country, there are some animal introductions going on here, so there's a lot of burlap here. May make some of the animals a little bit hard to see, but we'll try our best. Well, there's an ostrich over there, right by the mud pit.
Yeah.
Ostriches are the largest birds in the world. They're going to be 9 feet tall, but they can't fly. They're about 40 miles an hour instead. This one is a female. Females are always, well, mostly always gray, and the males are always black. But if there's a group of all females and one of them is dominant, she can lose her gray feathers and grow back black ones instead. There is also a cheetah up on the left-hand side. It's on the top right corner. We'll see it as we move up a little bit more. It's above the patchy grass, right up there. It's behind that tree that kind of breaks off into 3 different trees, way at the top of the hill.
On the hill. It's on the hill.
Can't really see it too well.
The little dots.
We'll check further forward here. Maybe there's one that's easier to see. Actually, if you look straight ahead, right past that triple palm tree, you see a cheetah's head just sticking up there above the burlap. The back of her ears are black.
Right there. See right there near that stick that sticks up like this. See her ears above it.
Not really moving at all. But the cheetahs, they're the fastest land animals. Their top running speed's around 70 miles an hour. Being that these guys are on a reserve, they don't need to run for food, so they just relax.
Right there. Yep.
Pretty commonly, they'll get their food stolen from them by bigger predators like lions. And because cheetahs are small, they just run away. They're not going to fight. But up here, we're looking for lions on these rocks. Lions are mostly nocturnal, so they're pretty much the opposite of the cheetah. But we may still be able to see them as they're mapping up there. Maybe let's check the back corner. Your ostrich on the right-hand side again. Definitely napping, so we'll keep it moving here. See who else we can find. Right next door to the lions. You of course have to find some warthogs. So look for the mud pit there, straight ahead and left. There's one walking around in there. Warthogs are the largest burrowing animals in Africa. They can make burrows, they can take over abandoned burrows, but whenever they go into their burrows, they go in backwards. It leaves their tusks out, and those are sharp, so predators leave them alone. They can't really eat them without hurting themselves. You see the rest of the ostriches on the right-hand side. One of them's getting a little bit of loving from the animal keeper.
I see 2, but I don't see the other one. Oh, there he is. There's one right next to him. There's 3 of them.
All right, friends, let's keep it moving here. We're going to enter Magadi Glen, and we're going to hopefully find the scimitar horned oryx in there. It's the rarest animal of the reserve. Oh, there's one last ostrich on the right, just for good measure. Oh, there's water bucks on the right too, guys. If you look in the bushes, that's what they just put in this section.
Yeah, look at the animal.
They're right back there. They look like deer almost. Water bucks, though, can waterproof themselves. They secrete an oily, smelly substance through their coat. The smell deters predators, so they can run away through the water without getting followed, hopefully. All right, friends, we'll cross over here to Magadi Glen. See some of those oryx are going to be hanging out way in the back on the left. We're also going to be passing some yellow-billed storks here on the right. Yellow-billed storks are carnivorous birds. They'll eat literally anything around them when they're hungry. That includes other birds. On occasions, they've even been seen eating their own hatchlings if there's nothing else around. But as for these oryx back here, they were declared extinct in the wild way back in the year 2000. Last year, the Sahara Conservation Fund started to reintroduce them from captivity into the country of cat. They've put 3 herds out there so far, and the first 2 herds have been out there for several months. They've had babies. It's pretty awesome. So they're hopefully on their way to more sustainable population levels. But they're white because they're from the desert originally. It helps them to stay cool by deflecting the sun's rays, and it helps them to blend in pretty well with their surroundings. Those guys can go 9 months without drinking water. Their body temperature can get up to 115 degrees without them sweating. We're going going back to civilization here. If there was anything at all that you missed out on seeing, come back and check with us a little bit later. No 2 trips around the reserve are the same, that's for sure. You can also come visit us after dark. The last safari leaves at 9:30. If you do come after dark, you may see some hyenas. Alright, so here we are, guys. We're back. We're going to head up here to the closest empty warden's post. Just start double checking your rows. Try not to leave anything on the truck. If you do, it might be a while before you get it back. But our friend Don and Tina as well. They're up there and they're ready for us. As we part ways with each other, we'll say Kwaherini and Swahili for go well. So Kwaherini, guys. My name was Goose. Thanks for serving with us out there. Hey! Oh, yeah, good. All right, friends, watch step down, have fun out there. Go wild. You're welcome.